So today I would like to show you my 3D model tool that I created for my engine. So let me just open it up. Engine. There's the tool. So pretty much it asks for a 3D model to export into my own file type. So I have a set of models here, which I will open in a new window. In assets-models just dash models. So I'll choose N because I want to read a single model. I'll press Y eventually, but not now. And I'll type in assets-models dash. Let's choose bob.dae. Bob.dae. So the cool thing about this is I can choose if the model is going to be animated or not. So if the model is already animated, then I could specify it as not animated, and it won't have any animations or bone data at all. And it'll just be at its pose position, I guess. So I'm not going to do that for simplicity's sake, but I could if I wanted to, and that's what matters. So I'll press Y because this model is animated, and now it'll be showing on this little screen. And you'll see that checkered cube over there. I like to call that the origin cube. It has X scale of 2, Y scale of 1, and a Z scale of 2. And it's located at 0, 0, 0, so I can set this model's position according to that cube. So I'll do that right now actually. I press V, and now I can choose to modify the position, the scale, or go back to the menu. So I'll modify the position by pressing 1. So now I can type in X and then 1 to add, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, that's adding. And 2 to subtract from the X value. So that's about right. Z1. So about here. And that looks about right. So realistically, that cube would be the floor. So now let me press Y and position it properly. So that would be the floor, and I would want to move the model on top of that accordingly, so it'll export in the proper location. So now, if I want to scale the object, let's say this is really big or really small, then I could press Shift, and I could choose to scale it by pressing 2. So now let's scale it on the X. Oh, okay, that's a bit weird. Y. Well, you can't really see that, but yeah, it was about there. Okay, well, that's not really a good idea, but I knew this would happen, so I added A. So if I press A, then I could add and subtract from all of the axes. So that's a cool feature. So that's his new size, his new transformation matrix. And now I can press Shift, and now I'll press 3 to go back to the main menu, and that's about it. So let's say I wanted to create animation clips. So let's pretend this guy is one big animation. He has a running animation from like frames 1 to 5, a walking animation from 5 to 12 or whatever, and so on. Let's say I wanted to cut those into smaller clips, so I can actually do that. So if I press Z, it'll pop up with this menu, so I can type in, well, it asks me to choose the type of keyframe I would like to select from. So as a demonstration, I can show you what those are. So in this 3D model file in Blender, it has keyframes right here. So you could see it animating according to those keyframes. But, well, hold on. There. Or, yeah, according to those keyframes. Why isn't it? Here we go. According to those keyframes. So if I go in here, you can see the location, the rotation, and the scale. So I could specify which keyframe it starts on. So I want it to start on a rotation keyframe. So I'll press 1. And now I can press 0 through 18. So that's how many rotation keyframes this animation has. So I'll press 5 and then 10. And now I'll name that, well, realistically 5 through 10 would probably be like a running animation or something like that. So I'll just name that running animation. Now I can press enter. Now you can see it's playing frames 5 through 10. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so let's create another one with Z. Let's just make this fast. We'll choose translation 1 through, well, let's say we mess up and accidentally press 1 through 1. Okay, so that won't really do anything. So we'll say, oops, I messed up. Okay, now what do? I can't go back. So I'll just name it bad animation, and I won't ever use that animation. No, I added a tool for just that. So if I mess up, I can press X, and now you can see that it shows the animation clips that I have. So I want to delete the bad animation, and that is clip number 2. Now I press enter, and that clip is gone. Now let's say I want to view the first animation again. I could just press C, and I could choose between the animation clips I have. So let's choose 0, and now it's back at its first animation. Now I can export this if I want to, which I actually do. So I'll press enter, and no, I do not want to continue creating files. So closes, and in my output file right here, it creates this. So that is a 3DMA file which I created. So if I open it up, it's all binary data. There's no text involved, so it saves a lot of memory. And you can see it's version 1, 3DMA, so that's the file type. So when I read it, it'll tell me, okay, this is a 3DMA, not 3DM, or not PNG, or whatever. And it's by me, of course, so. And it's all pretty much gibberish because every single one of these characters is equivalent to a byte of memory. So like this might be equal to 6 or whatever. It's very cool how that works, but that's not what I want to explain to you. So I'll delete that and I'll show you batch output. So here's my input file, and pretty much I specify the amount of files I want to export, which is 2 in this case. And then I specify the file path for the first one, the new name, so the name that it's going to be, I'll name this Bob B just because. And then the file type. So this one is going to be animated, this one's not going to be animated. So that's pretty cool. So now I open this up, press Y, and enter input.txt, and just press enter. They've been created. So you can see Bobby.3DMA, Nano.3DM. And those are the files I specified. So let's change this. Let's add another. Assets -models -bob.dae, and let's name this one I don't know, test, and then we'll make this a 3DM file. Now watch this. So I save it. Oh, I need to type in 3. So now there are 3 models that I want to export. Now I press Y, and then Y again, input.txt, and now there will be a test.3dm. Okay, so that's pretty cool. There's a lot of benefits to doing this. So the first benefit, or I'll just mention 2 main ones. The first one is the loading time. So bigger files take a long time to load, but smaller files like these are very simple to load, so that is very nice. And I do not need to use Asimp, I love that name, for loading my 3D files because I'm doing this. I just can use my own importer and exporter, which is very simple. Very simple. Although it requires a bit of knowledge, but since I created it, it's made the way that I wanted it to be, so it's simple. So, well, the file size, you could actually see, this is bob.dae, and here's my file. This is the animated file, 246 kilobytes. Now, if I wanted that non-animated, it's actually 110 kilobytes. So, if it's non-animated now, it's a pretty small file. So that's definitely a perk. But that's really it. So, oh, actually, I can show you this working. So if I go into my engine, I could load one of these models. So let's load Bobby.3dma. So let's copy this. Let's go into my documents, Visual Studio projects, the engine. Now if I go into the assets and models and paste this and copy the file name, then I could just paste it here. Now it should load. So it's also loading up a cube too, so that's what that black box is. And you can see it works pretty well. That's really it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. Have a nice day.